Hello everyone, my name is Victor and this is my fourth video. Previously I uploaded some 3 videos on my YouTube channel, and in this video I'll first take you through what we had in those first videos. So in the first video I talked about an introduction of image processing. Introduction of image processing by giving some definitions. I also talked about the 3 steps in which image processing can be performed, and these were: the first step was inputting the image with an optical device, and the second step was manipulating or analyzing the image, and the third one was outputting the results of these analyzed images. After that, still in the first video, I also talked about the 2 types of image processing, and these were: the first type is analog image processing, and lastly the second type is digital image processing. So those were the 2 types of image processing. So from there I also uploaded the second video, which had where I talked about. So in the second video I talked about how image processing can be applied in agricultural sector. Then still in the second video I also talked about introduction about agriculture. I gave you some introduction about agriculture and the background. Then lastly, I also talked about the types of soil. That was the second video. And lastly, in the third video, I talked about introduction about mobile applications, and I also talked about how the proposed mobile application can be used by farmers. Remember, my topic is image processing, and all I wanted was to develop a free mobile application that can be used by all farmers in different places to be able to characterize and classify their soil, so that they can get to know the type of soils they have. And this mobile application should be in position to give farmers some suggestions about different crops that can be grown on such identified or classified soils. So those are the 3 videos we had. So in this video, in this 4th video, we are going to discuss more about image processing, I will first talk about the advantages of image processing. Then after, I will also talk about some of the disadvantages of image processing, and lastly I will talk about some of the applications of image processing. So in this last part, we are going to discuss about different areas or sectors where image processing as the emerging trend, it can be used. So let's begin with the advantages. Advantages of image processing. There are a number of advantages of image processing, but in this video I'll discuss like 3 or 4. And the first one, the first advantage, is all the images that are processed by digital image processing techniques, by digital image processing techniques are noise free. They are noise free. So the moment they undergo this process of analyzing them, these images are cleaned, and the output that is given out contains only noise-free images. So the second advantage is that these images can be made available in any desired format. So the moment you use image processing techniques, you can be able to analyze and put these images in different formats, in any format that you feel like. And some of these formats are there. X-rays, negative photos, another format can be an improved image. So you can play around with image processing techniques and come up with any form of image that you feel like. So the third advantage is that when you use image processing techniques, all the images that are processed can be stored in the computer memory, and that once these images are stored in the computer memory, they can be easily retrieved on the same computer screen. So those are the advantages of image processing. So I'll also take you through some of the disadvantages of image processing. Shall talk about like 3 disadvantages of image processing. So these are disadvantages of image processing. So the first one is the initial cost of image processing can be high, depending on the system used. So like the initial stages when performing image processing can lead to, they can be very costly, and this depends on which kind of system you decided to use. So the second disadvantage is that if the camera used clashes, all the pics that were taken using this camera can be lost, and this happens in case you did not print out, you did not make some albums of all these pictures, or you do not have a backup. You can completely lose all the images. So it's one of the disadvantages with image processing technique. So the third disadvantage is that still these cameras have got some issues when using them. They have got some issues when using them, and the first issue is the memory card problem. You know, all these cameras do have memory card slots. So in case you've got a smaller capacity and you want to take videos or images of large capacity, let's say you have a 128 GB storage, yet you've taken pics that needs, let's say, 500 GBs, you face this challenge. So there are problems of memory card. So the second challenge with this camera is that some of them are very costly. They are very costly. They are expensive actually to buy, and when you decide to go with those that are not expensive, they normally take poor images. So for you to have cameras that can take clear pics, you need to go for expensive ones. So if you can't afford, you face such a challenge. And lastly, the third problem with these cameras, battery consumption. Battery consumption. Remember, when, let's say, you were in the field trying to take some images, and you're willing to spend like 4 hours or 2 hours, yet your battery can only last for, let's say, 20 minutes. That will be a big challenge. So those are the disadvantages of image processing. Then lastly, in this video, we are going to talk about some of the applications. We are going to talk about some of the applications of image processing. So these are the different sectors where image processing can be applied, and in my discussions, like in the previous videos, my sector, the sector I decided to work on is agriculture. So we shall start with how image processing can be applied in agriculture. We discussed all this in the previous videos. So the first application is that image processing can be applied in agricultural sector. So I think I don't need to talk more about this because everything was talked about in the first 3 videos. So that is the first application of image processing. So the second one is that image processing can be used in image sharpening and restoration. So this is the second application of image processing, and let's see what image sharpening and restoration means. So this refers to the processing of images that have been captured from the using the modern cameras, to make them better to make them better images, or to manipulate those images in a way to achieve the desired results. So image sharpening is all about getting all the images that are captured from the field using our cameras, the cameras we discussed above. Then you get them and use them in the, let's say the other application I'm proposing to or the one I started on of soil classification and characterization. The moment you use such an application or any other system, you give it all the images that you've taken from the field, so that it can be able to analyze, process, and gives you a manipulated or a cleaned image in any way, according to the desired results you wanted to obtain from such images. And the third application of image processing is machine or robot vision. Machine or robot vision. So image processing, let's talk about how it can be applied in machine or robot vision. So like one of the biggest problems, problem or challenge in robots is still to increase the vision, the vision of these robots. So this is one of the biggest challenge. So image processing can be used, or it can be applied in such an area or field to make robots able to see things. So if image processing is applied, robots can be able to see different things using this technique. Another thing, to identifying the things, not only to see but also to identify these things. So this image processing is very important and is applied in robotics. So the fourth application is that image processing can be applied also in biometric verification. Biometric verification, this is all about using human characteristics like fingerprints and any other unique features on a human being. They can be used for security purposes. Let's say in accessing different offices. So let's talk about how image processing is applied in biometric verification. So this is the recognition. This is the recognition of human characteristics. These characteristics, they can be identified and controlled by using efficient algorithms of image processing. So that was the fourth application. So the fifth one can be medical processing. Medical application. Image processing is commonly used in health sectors. So let's look at the medical application. How image processing is applied in health sector. So what is medical application? So medical application, this is the process of making visual representation of the interior or internal structures of the human body, for clinical investigations. For mind body, for clinical investigations and medical investigations. So doctors nowadays do use systems in hospitals that are embedded with image processing techniques to help them in doing some visual representations of different interior or the inner organs or parts of the human body for clinical and medical investigations. So that's the fifth one. So due to lack of time, I'll just outline some of the other application of image processing. And the sixth one is color. It is color processing. Here, image processing can be used. You can, let's say, develop your system or an application that uses image processing techniques to be able to process different colors. Let's say you are in a garden and you want to identify, let's say, some fruits that are, let's say, yellow in color, red in color, or green in color. So if you use a system that uses image processing technique to do color processing, you can be able to see which fruits are ready to be harvested, and which ones are yet to be harvested, and those that are not yet ready. So the other 7th application can be video processing. So we know that image processing can also be applied. Let's say you have a recorded video of, let's say, 1 hour. When you want to pick out some instances, let's say there was some people who were fighting and don't know when they fought. So if you have a system that can do video processing or analysis, can be able to pick exactly that exact time when those people were fighting. So video processing is also another application of image processing. The other 8th one can be I'm forgetting. It can be, yeah, did I discuss about remote sensing? No, the other one can be remote sensing. So image processing still can help in remote sensing, let's say. So those are some of the applications. There are still very many other applications of image processing, but I've managed to discuss only 7 with you in this video. Maybe we shall continue and discuss more about them in other coming videos. So that's all that I had for you in this 4th video. In the very soon I'll upload a 5th video where I'll discuss about the prototype. Discuss about the prototype of the free mobile application, that can run on all mobile devices. Let's say, even if it's an iPhone, even if it's an Android phone or a Microsoft phone. So I'll discuss about this prototype or a demonstration of this application that can be used by all farmers in different places to take images or take some videos that can be analyzed using this application. And this application is to use image processing technique. So all those videos or the images that are going to be taken using this application by the farmers, it can be able to process those videos, those images. It analyzes them, then uses different characteristics of soil and classify these soils in 2 different soil types. Let's say the farmer doesn't know which type of soil he or she is having, and he would like to know. Remember, for you to be able to plant any crops on any soil, you have to first know which type of soil you're dealing with. If you just plant crops on any soil you don't know, crops may end up failing. That's the one of the issue. At the end you have less yields. So this application will help the farmers to classify the soil. It should be able to tell them which type of soil is it, and then it continues and suggests, let's say that like we have like some types of soils like loam soil, clay soil, and sand soil. Let's say the application classified the soil and it was able to tell the farmer that, you know what, your the type of soil you have is clay soil. So it will go ahead and suggest and give different suggestions of different crops that the farmer can be able to plant on such soil. So wait in this, and it will be, I think it will be my last video. You will be able to see how I will demonstrate to the prototype or the demonstration of that application. Thank you so much guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel.